Thinking Aloud. Conversations on the leading edge of knowledge and discovery with psychologist Jeffrey Mishlove.
We're going to see these huge migrations. I think I just take that as a given now. Las Vegas, Phoenix, Tucson, Albuquerque. Candidly, I would say to you that these cities in their present configuration are doomed. We're in the second decade of the 20th century as we're doing, 21st century as we're doing this interview. By the second decade of the 22nd century, I would project to you that Las Vegas will be approximately a third the size of what it is now because there's just not enough water. And there's no other place to get water.
Yeah. Well, what you seem to be saying in a nutshell is that with regard to climate change, it's too late to reverse it. The best that we can do is begin to modify our behavior to adjust to the changes that are inevitable.
Well, it isn't me saying this. This is hundreds and hundreds of scientists. This is quite a large community of people who are all running around with their hair on fire saying, listen, everybody, you've got to pay attention to this.
Yeah.
Just because, it reminds me, we're like the little frog in the saucepan of water. You know that story?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You put the frog in the saucepan, you turn the fire on. Well, at first it's just kind of warm, and that's really sort of nice. And, well, then it gets hot, and eventually the frog gets cooked. Because it's by the time he figures out he needs to jump, it's too late. Mm-hmm. And so I would say to you, based on the social policies that I see implemented at this time, and that I see in the foreseeable future, particularly given that a very large percentage of our legislators and in the people in the executive branch proclaim their not only their uninterest in climate change, but their conviction that climate change is, even if it's happening, it has nothing to do with human activity. And so mm-hmm. I would say to you, I'm not very sanguine about the future in that respect, because I think we're going to see massive dislocations of people. I think we're going to see huge economic crises as a result of the collapse of coastal real estate. I think cities are now, I'm now beginning, I'll tell you the difference, Jeff. This has really startled me. I've been doing this. I wrote my first paper on climate change in 1991. I read a paper. What got me started was I read a paper in the American Scientist about ice coring and CO2 levels. And that's what really got me started in this. And so shortly thereafter, I wrote a first paper. When I now look at the two constants that I see in climate change over the years that I've been doing this, which is now several decades, is that it's happening faster. It always is happening faster than we thought it was going to. The timeline is collapsing, and the social and the effects of the collapse of the timeline are worse and greater than we had anticipated.
And it seems as if there's no political will from any political party to really address the problem.
That's right. And there are very strong private sector interests in not addressing the problem. My personal view is the function of the state should be to produce well-being. Presently, the major social priority of the United States and many other countries is to produce an environment for maximum profit-taking. And I think that is disastrous.
Or to put maybe a softer face on it, more jobs.
That's the way it gets rationalized.
Yeah.
But the reality is that the only social priority we have here in the United States today is to create an environment for maximum profit. And I think that the function of the state should be to produce well-being. And in fact, when you look at countries where well-being is a priority, you see much happier, healthier, longer-living people than you do in countries like our own. So are we going to be able to navigate this? Well, some group of us will, but I think we need to be prepared. This is going to kill more people than any war.
Enormous dislocation. There will be millions and millions of people, maybe who once had luxury homes, who will become homeless.
Yes, yes.